Welcome to the step-by-step product creation video tutorial. Now you can create your very own physical or digital information products. It's easier than you think. We're going to follow the table of contents in the ebook, so please refer to the table of contents when you want to review. Let's start with Section 1, Production, Cash-Producing Subjects. How does your business serve others? How do you or your product and service contribute to the improvement of lives? You have to look past the obvious. For example, self-help companies don't sell courses. They sell solutions to your problems. They know people's wants. Courses are a device to attain it. Historically, and most likely forever, people want security, sex, power, immortality, wealth, happiness, safety, health, recognition, and love. How do you or your product and service deliver any of these essential needs? As you begin to brainstorm ideas for your product, keep these customer desires in mind. Let's look at the proper way to brainstorm and narrow down your ideas to find the quickest to market concepts. Let's walk through an example of the brainstorming spreadsheet. You'll find this in detail in the ebook. Step 1, Idea Generation. Write down everything that comes to mind. There are no bad ideas at this point. Just do a complete brain dump onto the spreadsheet in the idea column. You should get at least 20 to 50 ideas during this process. If you get stuck, go back and look through the list of customer desires to get some ideas. Once you have 20 to 50 ideas or feel like you're finished, then move on to Step 2. Of course, if you can come up with 100 ideas, go for it. Now let's move on to Step 2, Difficulty. In the Difficult column, place an H, an M, or an E in the column for each idea. This indicates how difficult it would be, based on your experience and skills, to turn this idea into a product. Please note, do not ask anyone else to answer this for you, especially by posting in a marketing forum. Only you can answer these questions. Remember that H equals hard, M equals medium, and E equals easy. Once you've placed an H, M, or E next to each idea, move on to Step 3. Step 3 is Develop. Next to each idea, place an O or an M in the Develop column. This will reference who would be responsible to actually do the work for this idea. If you have skills to do the work and want to do the work, then put an M for me. If you don't have the skills or would prefer to pay someone to do the work, then put an O for others. Once you've finished this for every idea on your list, move on to the next step. Step 4 is Knowledge. In this step, place an E, an L, or an N next to each idea based on your personal level of knowledge about the subject of the idea. If your idea is an area that you are an expert on, place an E. If your idea is an area where you have some knowledge, but you're not an expert, place an L. If you think the idea is a moneymaker, but you have no personal knowledge of the subject, place an N. After completing that for each idea, let's move on to the final step. Step 5 is Prioritize. Okay, now let's prioritize your ideas. Don't get worried, this is going to be so easy. You see, most fail at this point because they try to prioritize their ideas based on their own personal feelings. Essentially, they pick the ideas they like or want to do. Our process is going to make this so simple for you. Number 1 priorities would be easy, me, expert. Why? Because this means it's an easy idea, you'll be doing the work so it's under your control, and you're an expert in the subject. It can't get any better than that. The last priority would be hard, others, no knowledge. Why? Because the idea is hard to create. Others would have to be involved, which would mean extra money, additional time, and limited control, and you have no knowledge of the subject matter. The rest of the categories would be ranked somewhere in the middle. You can even give a number to each letter, so the calculation of the priorities would be simple math. Easy could equal 1, medium equals 2, hard equals 3, me equals 1, others equals 2, expert equals 1, limited equals 2, none is 3. Place those numbers next to each letter in the appropriate columns, and then just add up the totals. Your totals would rank everywhere from 3, the lowest, to 8, the highest. Now you're going to take top 10 ideas and move on to the next section. Depending on how many ideas you have that rank as a 3 or a 4 and so forth, you may have all 3s moving on, or 3s and some 4s, and so forth. If you have more than one idea in the 6th category moving on to the next section, then you might want to consider brainstorming some additional ideas.